Boom. All right, what's up, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. Just got home from vacay, and it could not feel better to be back in the lab. We are going to be picking up right where we left off and talking Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners. This sector, this space could not be looking more promising at the moment, and honestly, I'm feeling pretty confident in the fact that we will be seeing new all-time highs for each of the names that we'll be discussing today. So let's talk about why that is. As always, we'll quickly go over the topics we'll be discussing, then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, you guys know the drill, good old trading view, where we will talk technicals and price targets on the following names today in this order. Going down the watch list, kicking it off with who else but the king. If we're talking Bitcoin miners, we got to kick off the video with Bitcoin. So once again, we'll kick it off with the king. Right now, at the time of recording, it is 3:13 p.m. Hawaii time on Wednesday, and Bitcoin is looking like it's setting up for another big move up. Just cleared its most recent local high, and I'm excited to see what happens. Maybe even by the time you guys watch this video, but definitely over the coming 24 hours, because things are stacking up to get very exciting very soon, okay? At least that's what it looks like in my eyes. All just my opinion. Always remember that, okay? So after we take a look at Bitcoin, cover our bases, we will kick it off with Riot Blockchain, or Riot, significantly underperforming the rest of the sector, which honestly makes me that much more excited about it. Talk about why that is as we dive in. Kick it off with Riot, move on to Miss Mara Moon, or Marathon Digital. The most solid play in the sector by far. This play has been, exceeding my expectations personally. And as we talk about Riot and MARA, I will talk to you guys about why I personally see much more upside for pretty much all of the other names we're going to be talking about today, aside from Marathon Digital. But not to discredit MARA. MARA is, objectively the most solid play in the sector at the moment. So after the two big dogs, we will move on into the two smaller players in the space. But two players that I believe have a lot of upside potential. That is going to be BITF and or bitfarms. And then we'll close it out with BTBT or Bit Digital, all right? Those are all the names we're going to be discussing, taking a look at on the charts. The far majority, pretty much the entirety of this video, is going to be spent on the charts. So let's dive in, you guys. If you do go on to gain value from this video, or if you're bullish on Bitcoin or any of these miners, please give the video a like. Really means a lot. And let me know in the comments down below which of the mining stocks we go on to talk about today are you the most bullish on. If we're not talking about one that you really like, let me know. Tell me what it is. Share with the Waves fam. But just let me know which of these plays is your favorite in the comments down below. And we will be looking at, as we cover Riot and MARA, as we kick it off with the miners, we will be reading through the little excerpts I wrote in the newsletter this morning, just because it summarizes my thoughts in the most brief way, so I'm not just rambling everywhere. But as we look at Riot and MARA, we will read over the small excerpts I sent out in the newsletter this morning as we covered Riot and MARA in real time, okay? So Riot and MARA, if you guys want one of these bad boys, if you guys want a daily newsletter in your inbox from me, along with a complete breakdown of my entire personal portfolio. So if you want to know exactly how I'm personally trading all of the names that we're going to be talking about today, what my call options are, what specific calls I have for these, how I structure them in my personal portfolio, not just calls, but shares as well. Check this out, you guys. And again, it's not just this sector. I'm super pumped on EVs and green energy as well. And I'm just super pumped for the months to come. Like, it's been a little slow lately, but come November, December, even late October, once the holidays come, people are feeling that holiday spirit and things get super exciting. So if you want to ride the wave with me, if you want to know exactly how I'm trading, that is going to be $15 a month or $40 for every 3 months. That is also going to be the first link down in the description box. So check that out if you guys are interested. Really means a lot. Do my best to make that worth your hard-earned money. But if not, no worries at all. I appreciate your eyeballs right here, right now. Let's dive into these charts again. Kick it off with Bitcoin. Just looking so freaking strong right now. I'm so excited, you guys, because of course I live in Hawaii. So I'm thinking we're 6 hours behind the East Coast. So a lot of you guys won't even be able to watch this once I get it posted in a couple of hours. So if you guys are watching this tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, I'm stoked for you, because it's shaping up, it's stacking up to be a super solid day for Bitcoin miners. All right, so cheers to that in advance. Anyway, Bitcoin, just looking freaking great right now. The volume is looking solid. We're starting to run up, currently sitting at just over $58,000. I think by the time a lot of you guys end up watching this, we are going to have cleared 60K. Obviously, $60,000, pretty significant psychological bear, but at the same time, I'm going to get rid of this because as I zoom out, it's going to look bunk. So this cyan line right here, this big line right here, I do think will very, very likely come in play. That is because it was the line of support on Bitcoin's previous ascending channel, very solid ascending channel. Once Bitcoin broke, that's when I flipped bearish. That was just, I mean, once major support lines are broken, you guys, as a trader, as a technical analyst primarily, obviously fundamentals matter. Right now, the fundamentals around Bitcoin are looking great. The dollar specifically is going down. When the dollar goes down, it's way more likely that Bitcoin will go up and have a way less hard time of going up if the dollar is depreciating in value. Okay, so that's the base fundamental. That's the only fundamental we're going to be talking about right now. From a technical perspective, though, I do think this previous line of support, very strong line of support on Bitcoin's prior ascending channel, will come back into play as new resistance, TA101. And I do think that will pose a little bit of resistance that's coming in just around. If it tests this tomorrow, that's around $60,500. And if we do break back into this channel, I think it's only a matter of time before we test the top side of resistance on said ascending channel. So this beautiful ascending channel, let me know in the comments down below if you guys remember this. This was a textbook ascending channel, played out from July 25th all the way to where it broke on September 7th. So just over a month, very solid channel. And I do think that if we are able to reclaim this ascending channel, then it's only a matter of time until we go on to test the top side of that. If this happens at the end of the month, November 1st, let's take this right here. So this is the bull argument, short term. I'll just say this right now because you guys are looking at it. That's why I had this target here. If Bitcoin just starts ripping, which is very possible, it's freaking Bitcoin, you guys know what can happen here. If this starts ripping on the short-term uptrend, I mean, obviously using the 2 touch points at the 2 highs right here, it's entirely possible that we use a short-term line of resistance. That would take us by October 15th, just in a few days, to almost $70,000, which personally I don't think is likely, but I do think we can see a pretty organic. I mean, this volume is looking pretty impressive. So maybe, I don't know, again, it's Bitcoin, anything can happen. Regardless, I do think that the top side of this ascending channel can be tested right here if we reclaim it on November 1st. Where's November 1st? Right there. If we do test this, that would take us to $77,000. If we happen to just see a nice organic climb up to 77K to test the top side of resistance on this reclaimed ascending channel. Okay, so let's hope we see that. In all honesty, I would rather see this play out than the short-term play out, just because it'd be a nice organic rise. Gives you a little more time to process things and kind of take a rational approach to things. But hey, you know what? If we rip to 72.5K over the coming 4 or 5 days, I'll take that as well. I'd be equally as stoked on that, just a little more on my toes. So regardless, you guys, just stay on your toes. Think rationally. Keep a cool mind, and that will always allow you to perform better once you're performing. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Let's move on to Riot again. Let's go back. Riot Blockchain. So Riot continues to underperform, and I continue to become more bullish on the fact that it will slingshot past the others at some point in time to play some catch up. Riot's all-time high is $80, which would be a 3x from current levels. We'll take a look at that when we get to the charts. MARA's, so roasting MARA a little bit, but again, this plays into the narrative of why I'm personally more bullish on Riot than MARA. If you're more bullish on MARA, that's perfectly fine. You guys, this is just my opinion, okay? Just got to remind you once again. MARA's is under $60, which would be a plus 50% price increase. So when BTC sees new all-time highs, or ATHs, I think both Riot and MARA will as well. If that happens to be the case, Riot's potential upside in that scenario is significantly greater than MARA's. But hey, MARA's still an extremely solid play. Let's talk about MARA. Let's talk about MARA right here, right now, and just stick to the charts as we close out the video, you guys. Try to keep this one short and sweet. MARA, although I believe plays like Riot, bitfarms, and BTBT have more potential in the case that Bitcoin rips, MARA objectively looks much cleaner on the charts and is actually following BTC the closest. So if you look at BTC and MARA side by side, they have the most closely correlated chart. Okay, that means they're moving in the most similar fashion. Most of you know that, just saying it. MARA has reclaimed a significant ascending channel, and it makes sense to me that we will begin making our way up to test resistance. MARA equals safest play in the sector. Again, my opinion. Again, though, I think there's more upside potential present elsewhere. That upside potential present elsewhere being, of course, Riot, BITF, and BTBT. Okay. So, Riot, again, just taking a look, zooming out here, taking a look at Riot's previous all-time high way back in mid to late February was at $80. We're currently sitting at 25. 25 times 3 is 75. So we would see over a 3x if Riot were to reclaim its previous high once again, which I think is very, very possible. Let's see so I do think that this line will come into play, honestly, you guys. Riot's a previous line of resistance on that massive rally that we saw, or previous line of support, I'm sorry, that, again, I do think will come into play as new resistance to get to its previous high. We'll call it right there. No, sorry. We'll just go, we'll go right there. So ballpark, just ballpark, you guys, would be early December. I think Riot could see 80 bucks once again. So, again, you guys, this would not be surprising to me at all. Riot seems so undervalued at the moment. Riot is one of the most, keep in mind, you guys, I do have a bias towards Riot. I bought a lot of Riot that I honestly still have around when it was like $1.70 or something. So Riot, I've been on the freaking ringer. I've been on a roller coaster ride with Riot. I've been following it for years. I've held that Riot position since like 2017, obviously. So I do love Riot, but I also love them because I've watched the progress that they've made as a company. They used to be sketch, but how far they've come, how much they've developed their team, how much they've expanded their operations, how much more land they bought, how many more factories they've filled up with their miners, how much more Bitcoin they have on their balance sheet. And again, I know MARA has more Bitcoin on their balance sheet and stuff, but I mean, Riot, for considering Riot is so much significantly, as in terms of market, Riot has a $2.5 billion market cap right now. MARA, let's just look at it right now. MARA has a $4.4 billion market cap. So MARA, not quite 2 times the size, but like MARA is like 70-80% bigger than Riot at this point in terms of being a company. And they're pretty close in terms of operational capacity. So, again, you guys, I think Riot is ready to slingshot. I do think that Riot, if Bitcoin sees new all-time highs, if Bitcoin sees 70K, would not be surprised at all to see Riot come back up to like 70, 80 bucks. And, yeah, I think that's very likely. Short term, though, let's talk short term. I think the short term, I mean, Riot does not look good short term. Like this little cluster right here, I don't even want to talk about because I don't even have anything rational to say about that. It just looks weird, but I do like the volume that's starting to come back. And I do think that it's super likely, way more likely than not, that Riot at least comes up over the coming days as Bitcoin continues to rally to test the line of resistance on Riot's current downtrend. If that happens, I think this could actually happen a lot sooner than that. October 21st, just where it happened to draw this target. Keep in mind, you guys, these price targets are completely dependent on when these lines are tested. So if that happens, that would take us to just under 34 bucks, 33, 34 bucks on October 21st, which from here is a pretty solid little price increase. Okay, so Riot, I do think Riot can breach all-time highs, previous all-time highs, and 3x as Bitcoin continues to rally over the coming month or two. Okay, so exciting potential there. Let me know what you guys think about Riot, and of course all the technicals or price targets that we're talking about today. There's a mosquito in my face. Okay, so MARA, I mean, again, you guys, look, like Bitcoin seeing a similar pattern, just a solid series of higher highs and higher lows as we kicked off the month of October. So MARA has seen a beautiful month of October. Riot has not. And again, you guys, if you have been following along, if you guys have been here for a while, let me know. But when we'd cover Riot and MARA, when they were in the teens and the 20s and the 30s through the rally, they always ended up playing catch up. Now, of course, as these companies progress and they advance at different speeds, which MARA is proving itself to do now. But again, you guys, the progress MARA has made from an operational perspective, at least in my opinion, dispute this if you want, does not justify the lead that it's taken in terms of market cap and share price. Okay, so I do think Riot will easily catch up in terms of share price. Also, remember, MARA MARA sold shares fairly recently. Okay, so MARA has a lot more shares outstanding than Riot. Therefore, if Riot and MARA are the same share price, MARA is still going to be worth more. So I think that at the very least, Riot will catch up in terms of share price. But again, let's talk about MARA now. You guys freaking get what I'm trying to drill in there. Anyway, MARA has reclaimed, as I said in the newsletter, this beautiful, beautiful ascending channel. And if Bitcoin rips, it only makes sense that MARA comes up to test the top side here. If this happens, let's do October 21st with this one as well. That would take us to almost like a $52, $53 MARA. And then MARA has a lot of potential here. So MARA, again, its previous high under 60 bucks, 57 bucks. I do think this line could definitely come into play, but and I guess if MARA just continues to just have honestly just a stronger investor base and just more people stoked about it, which matters way more than any of us would like it to, but that's just the reality. Then that could take us on November 1st. This doesn't make sense to me, you guys. I don't think we're gonna see this, if I'm being honest. But again, I do think that previous all-time highs can come into play. Now that I'm like saying that out loud, now that I'm verbally speaking that doesn't make sense. Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. I do think Riot's going to play catch up. But if Riot does see like 80 bucks, I think Mara could see a new all-time high, maybe around like 70 or something. All right, but again, that's just because Mara has way more shares outstanding than Riot, and this is just how these two work. Again, could be wrong. I'm just using the exact way these two have acted over the history of trading them, personally to my advantage, hopefully, or maybe, or my despair. We'll have to see. But Mara, in terms of the short term, I do definitely think we'll test the top side of resistance. Again, October 28th, end of the month. This seems more logical to me and just more reasonable. And I feel way better about like actually saying this is a possibility to you guys prior to the end of the month. Over the next week or two, we could easily see a $55 to $60 Mara. All right, so let's close it out with the two small dogs. Bitfarms currently sitting at an $820 million market cap. Short term, Bitfarms also looking just terrible, to be honest, from a technical perspective. Short term, like over here, just a little cluster F. But I do think that's probably tomorrow, if I'm being completely honest, because we saw a good day today. Probably see a good day tomorrow, and I do think that Bitfarms will easily, probably tomorrow as you guys watch this, what's tomorrow? October 14th is tomorrow? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I always forget that 4 hours, there's only 2 4-hour candles in a trading day. But I do think we can see, I mean, if we see 550 tomorrow to test this resistance, that'll take us up 10%. Maybe not. Maybe it takes us until Friday, which would be on the 15th. That would take us up. So over the 2 days, I think, before the end of this trading week, before the 15th, or on the 15th, I should say, I think we can see at least a plus 10% in Bitfarms or a 550 once we break this, which I think is pretty freaking inevitable at this point. I think it's blast off time. This is a significant line of resistance that's been in place since Bitfarms high on August 11th. Once we break this, Bitfarms, obviously a small cap stock as well, takes less capital inflow to the stock to appreciate the share price, and it's just an exciting company. Both Bitfarms and BitDigital, done solo analyses on these guys. Both sit companies, both a lot of promise. Again, Riot and MARA deserves larger market caps because they're larger companies. Their operational capacity is larger, so they deserve to be better, to be bigger and better companies, because they are. But again, in terms of once the hype comes in, once people get excited about Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners again, once that curiosity is peaked again, this usually comes in the like the risk on months of November, December. I mean, I think it's freaking off to the races. And once in the short term, if and once this resistance is broken for Bitfarms, I think we're moving. Okay, so keep an eye on these lines of resistance. BTBT, as you can see, that's a similar line to Bitfarms. The line of resistance since it's high in early August was broken. I assume Bitfarms is going to do something similar to this, because this is a very, like, these two play out very similar. These two, Bitfarms and BTBT, are the new Riot and MARA. So keep that in mind, all right? This is how, so similarly, this is like exactly, if this doesn't happen, I will be surprised. But if it does, that completely validates everything I'm saying about the game of catch-up that is just played in this sector specifically, okay? So, Bitfarms, BTBT, new Riot, MARA. I do think that once Bitfarms breaks the line of resistance similar to BTBT, we will absolutely pop off. Like, BTBT was up, like, what, 30-40% on this day? Absolutely insane. Now trading sideways again in this little cluster right here that looks awful, but we are still in breakout mode. BTBT came back, kind of revisited this initial high back here with this candle right here. You can see right above that, right above the money sign. And when it comes to upside price targets, I mean, BTBT's all-time high back here in December of 2020, which is crazy, was 33 bucks. So similar to Riot, that's a 3x from here. Will we see that? A 3x from here would lead to, I mean, a 1.8-ish billion dollar market cap, so just under a $2 billion market cap, which again, in a manic environment, in an environment where everyone's stoked and no one really cares about fundamentals and just kind of future prospects, I think it's entirely possible. I think that's possible for every single name we talked about today. So get psyched, you guys. Let me know in the comments down below once again what you think, what your favorite play in the sector is, why it's your favorite play. If you're bullish, if you're bearish, let me know why. Again, you guys, I was bearish until the technicals told me otherwise. So again, that's the game, you guys. You adapt or you get slapped, and you alter your portfolio appropriately, which I have been doing, you guys. I've been loading up on these Bitcoin miners, and I'm just so pumped to see where these can take us over the coming weeks, months, etc. Okay, excuse my voice, I'm jet lagged, I'm a little sick, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, talk to you guys in the comments downstairs. If you want to know how I'm trading, that link is the first down below once again. And yeah, If you guys are still here, I appreciate you. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and give the video a like. It means a lot. Okay, so I'll catch you guys next time. Until then, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace, guys.